Very good afternoon, students. So today I'm going to explain you the analysis of coal. But before going to see the analysis of coal, we know that every fuel is composed with some elements and the non-elements. So what are the elements and what are the non-elements present in the fuel? We know that fuel is existing carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur and nitrogen. And along with that, it is also having some non-elements. Those are moisture, volatile matter, and the ash. So if you know the percentage of these elements and the non-elements, we can tell that whether the quality is good or bad, isn't it? So if you know the percentages of these elements and the non-elements, we can find whether the quality of the fuel is good or bad. So that we are going to analyze in the analysis of coal. So what is the use of analysis of coal? Analysis of coal is used to analyze the quality of the coal sample. Yes. So in order to assess the quality of the coal sample, our following two types of analysis are made. There are two types of analysis to analyze the quality or to assess the quality of coal sample. One is called the proximate analysis and another one is called the ultimate analysis. Proximate analysis is especially useful to find out the percentages of non-elements in the coal sample. But what are the non-elements present in the coal sample? We know that moisture, volatile matter, and ash. These three are called the non-elements. And along with these non-elements, we can also find out the percentage of fixed carbon in the coal sample. So what is the use of proximate analysis of coal? It is used to find out the percentage of moisture, percentage of volatile matter, percentage of ash, and the percentage of fixed carbon. And this gives quick and valuable information regarding commercial classification and determination of suitability for a particular industrial use. So where we have to use, in which type of industries we can use, that we can get by using proximate analysis. So if you know the quantity or if you know the percentage of these non-elements, we can tell whether the quality is good or bad. So based on that, we can tell in which industry, in which type of industries we can use this type of coal sample. So this is about the proximate analysis of coal. And ultimate analysis is especially used to find out all the elements percentage in the coal sample. So especially used to find out the percentages of elements in the coal sample. So that's the reason ultimate analysis is also called as the elemental analysis. It is also called as the elemental analysis because it is used to find out the percentages of elements in the coal. But what are the elements present in the fuel? We know carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur, and the nitrogen. So ultimate analysis is used to find out the percentage of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, and the oxygen in the coal sample. So since it is used for the determination of elements present in the coal, it is also called as the elemental analysis. So why are we calling ultimate analysis as the elemental analysis? Because we are going to find out the percentages of all elements in the coal sample. So ultimate analysis is also called as the elemental analysis. And this analysis gives exact result and are useful in calculating the calorific value of coal using Dulong's formula. And this Dulong's formula we will see in the next class. But especially Dulong's formula is used to find out the calorific value. In this formula, we are going to include the percentages of all these elements in that formula. So to find out calorific value. So ultimate analysis especially using to find out the calorific value by using Dulong formula also. So this is about the proximate analysis and the ultimate analysis. So let us see what is proximate analysis and how we are going to find out the each and every non-element in the proximate analysis. So what is the use of proximate analysis? Proximate analysis is uses to find out the percentage of moisture, percentage of volatile matter, percentage of ash, and the percentage of fixed carbon. So let us see, in the first step, we are going to find out the percentage of moisture. To find out percentage of moisture, initially we are taking 1 gram of the cool sample. So how much we are taking? We are taking around 1 gram of the cool sample in the silica crucible. So let us assume this is one of the silica crucible. So silica crucible is looking like a beaker, but the bottom is having a silica paste. So this is a silica crucible. In the silica crucible, initially we are taking the 1 gram of the coal sample. And after taking 1 gram of the coal sample in the silica crucible, it is placing inside of the oven. So where we are placing the silica crucible, we are placing the silica crucible in the oven for 1 hour and maintaining the temperature of 105 to 110 degrees centigrade. So how much we are maintaining? We are maintaining around 105 to 110 degrees centigrade. After placing 1 hour, we are removing the silica crucible from the oven and placing the silica crucible in the desiccator. Desiccator is one of the equipment which is used for cooling the glassware. Yes, so in the desiccator, we are cooling the silica crucible. After cooling the silica crucible, again we are taking the weight of the silica crucible. So obviously, the weight of the silica crucible after taking from the oven will be less compared to before placing in the oven, because all the moisture will be eliminating or removing in the oven. So it will be escaped in the oven. So because of that reason, the weight of the silica crucible will be reduced after 1 hour. So by reducing weight, by loss of weight of the silica crucible, we can find out the percentage of moisture. So percentage of moisture is equals to loss in weight divided by weight of coal sample taken into 100. So this is about percentage of moisture. So simply to find out the percentage of moisture, take 1 gram of silica crucible, place the silica crucible in the oven for 105 to 110 degrees centigrade and placing the silica crucible for 1 hour. After 1 hour, by removing the silica crucible and placing the silica crucible in the desiccator, and after placing in the desiccator, we are finding the weight of the silica crucible. By loss of weight of silica crucible, we can find out the percentage of moisture. And the second one, percentage of volatile matter. So volatile matter is nothing but the matter which can be evaporated easily. So to find out the volatile matter, instead of using silica crucible alone, we are taking the silica crucible along with the cap to find out the percentage of volatile matter. So initially the dried sample of coal left in the crucible in 1. That means after finding the percentage of moisture, the same silica crucible is covered with a lid. So we are placing a cap or lid on the silica crucible in an electric furnace maintained at 925 plus or minus 20 degrees centigrade. So we are placing the silica crucible in the electric furnace. It is also called as a muffle furnace, and maintaining the temperature of 925 plus or minus 20 degrees centigrade. Then the silica crucible is taken out of the oven after 7 minutes of heating. So how much time we are placing the silica crucible along with the lid in the muffle furnace? We are placing it for 7 minutes. So after 7 minutes, the same process for cooling. After 7 minutes, the silica crucible is cooled first in air, then inside a desiccator and weighed again. So after placing 7 minutes, again we are taking the silica crucible weight without lid, because whatever the volatile matter is there in the silica crucible, that means in the coal, that volatile matter will be escape or it will be evaporate and it will be sticks to the lid. So when you remove the lid, all the volatile matter will be removed. So from that, we will get the less weight for the silica crucible. From the loss of weight, we can find out percentage of volatile matter. So percentage of volatile matter is equals to loss in weight due to removal of volatile matter divided by weight of coal sample taken into 100. And the next one, percentage of ash. Percentage of ash is very, very easy. To find out percentage of ash, after taking or after calculating percentage of moisture, percentage of volatile matter, the same silica crucible is placing again in the muffle furnace. Muffle furnace is nothing but electric furnace. Again placing the same silica crucible in the muffle furnace for half an hour and maintaining the temperature of 700 plus or minus 50 degrees Celsius. After half an hour, you will get the ash compound in the place of the coal in the silica crucible. So when you maintain 900 or 700 plus or minus 50 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes, the entire coal sample will be converted to the ash. But we are doing this process repeatedly. That means continuously cooling and the heating, cooling and the heating. So how much time we are doing this process till gets the constant weight. So till gets the constant weight, we are repeating this process. So until get the constant reading, repeat this process to find out the percentage of ash. So after getting the constant weight, by using that weight of the ash, we can find out the percentage of ash. So percentage of ash is equals to weight of ash left divided by weight of coal sample taken into 100. And the last one, fixed carbon. How we are going to find out the fixed carbon? Fixed carbon is nothing but the amount which is remain in the coal sample. So how we can find out the remaining amount? If you do total minus sum of the remaining elements, we can find out the percentage of fixed carbon. So fixed carbon is equals to percentage of fixed carbon is equals to 100 minus percentage of moisture plus volatile matter plus ash. So what is 100 here? 100 is total. From total, we are removing all the non-elements in the coal sample. So if you do this process, we can get the fixed carbon, the percentage of fixed carbon in the coal sample. So this is about the proximate analysis of coal. In proximate analysis, we are going to find out the percentage of moisture, volatile matter, ash, and the fixed carbon. So now we are going to see the importance of proximate analysis. So importance is nothing but significance of proximate analysis. So what is the use or what is the importance of proximate analysis? Especially proximate analysis provides following valuable information in assessing the quality of coal. So we can find out moisture, volatile matter, ash, and the fixed carbon. So now I'm going to explain you the importance of moisture in the coal sample. Moisture is lowers the effective calorific value of coal. So what moisture is doing? Moisture is reducing the calorific value of the coal. So moreover, it quenches the fire in the furnace. Hence, lesser the moisture content, better the quality of coal as a fuel. So however, presence of moisture up to 10% produces more uniform fuel bed and less of fly ash. So if moisture is around 10%, it is giving the less amount of ash. That means The 10% of moisture is acceptable in the coal sample. So that is about moisture significance or moisture importance. And the second one, volatile matter importance or the significance. So similar to moisture, volatile matter also not acceptable, because even volatile matter also reducing the calorific value. If the calorific value reducing gradually, if the calorific value is reducing, we can say the quality of the coal sample is lesser. Yes. So for the better the quality of coal, volatile matter should be less. Not only volatile matter, even moisture content also should be less. So the next one, percentage of ash importance are the significant. Ash is a useless non-combustible matter which reduces calorific value of coal. Moreover, ash causes the hindrance to the flow of air and heat, thereby lowering the temperature. So what ash is doing? It is hindering the flow of air and heat. Hindering is nothing but stopping. It is stopping the flow of air and the heat. So thereby lowering the temperature also. So hence ash also increases transporting, handling and storage cost. So the presence of ash also causes early wear of furnace walls, burning of apparatus and feeding mechanisms. But here the presence of ash is not acceptable. For the better quality of coal sample, ash content should be less. And the last one, fixed carbon. Fixed carbon is nothing but the carbon which is in the fixed state. Higher percentage of fixed carbon, greater is its calorific value and better the quality of coal. So if the fixed carbon is more, we can tell the quality of the coal sample is good and calorific value also great. So greater the percentage of fixed carbon, smaller is the percentage of volatile matter. Because volatile matter and fixed carbon, these two are inversely proportional to each other. So this also represents the quality of carbon. Current of air drawn through the hot bed of a fuel. So that means for the best quality of coal sample, carbon should be high, but hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur content should be less or zero. Only the moisture is acceptable up to 10%. This is about proximate analysis of. And the next one, ultimate analysis. This I will explain you in the next class. But just I will give a brief idea about the ultimate analysis. Ultimate analysis is also called as the elemental analysis, because we are going to find out the percentages of elements in the coal sample. So ultimate analysis is also called as the elemental analysis. By using ultimate analysis, we are going to find out the percentage of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur and nitrogen. So based on the percentages, we can say whether the quality is good or bad. Yes. So this is about the ultimate analysis, just overview. In the next class, I will explain you what is ultimate analysis.